Hey everybody, today we're going to be reading chapter 2 of Joshua, and after I get done reading scripture, I'm going to explain what I think about it, how I feel about it. And I'm not an expert in scripture at all, so please do not lean on my understanding, but trust in the Lord for understanding and for guidance. And if I mispronounce any names, places, people, words, anything like that, I do apologize. And I'm reading from my Bible. It's the New Living Translation for those who want to follow along. And without further ado, let's get started. Then Joshua secretly sent out 2 spies from the Israelite camp at Acacia Grove. He instructed them, scout out the land on the other side of the Jordan River, especially around Jericho. So the 2 men set out and came to the house of a prostitute named Rahab and stayed there that night. But someone told the king of Jericho, some Israelites have come here tonight to spy out the land. So the king of Jericho sent orders to Rahab, bring out the men who have come into your house, for they have come here to spy out the whole land. Rahab had hidden the 2 men, but she replied, yes, the men were here earlier, but I didn't know where they were from. They left the town at dusk as the gates were about to close. I don't know where they went. If you hurry, you can probably catch up with them. Actually, she had taken them up to the roof and hidden them beneath bundles of flax she had laid out. So the king's men went looking for the spies along the road leading to the shallow crossings of the Jordan River. And as soon as the king's men had left, the gate of Jericho was shut. Before the spies went to sleep that night, Rahab went up on the roof to talk with them. I know the Lord has given you this land, she told them. We are all afraid of you. Everyone in the land is living in terror, for we have heard about how the Lord made a dry path for you through the Red Sea when you left Egypt. And we know what you did to Sihon and Og, the 2 Amorite kings east of the Jordan River, whose people you completely destroyed. No wonder our hearts have melted in fear. No one has the courage to fight after hearing such things. For the Lord your God is the supreme God of the heavens above and the earth below. Now swear to me by the Lord that you will be kind to me and my family, since I have helped you. Give me some guarantee that when Jericho is conquered, you will let me live, along with my father, my mother, my brothers and sisters, and all their families. We offer our own lives as guarantee for your safety, the men agreed. If you don't betray us, we will keep our promise and be kind to you when the Lord gives us the land. Then, since Rahab's house was built into the town wall, she let them down by a rope through the window. Escape to the hill country, she told them. Hide there for 3 days from the men searching for you. Then when they have returned, you can go on your way. Before they left, the men told her, we will be bound by the oath we have taken only if you follow these instructions. When we come into the land, you must leave this scarlet rope hanging from the window through which you let us down, and all your family members, your father, mother, brothers, and all your relatives must be here inside the house. If they go outside into the street and are killed, it will not be our fault. But if anyone lays a hand on people inside this house, we will accept the responsibility for their death. If you betray us, however, we are not bound by this oath in any way. I accept your terms, she replied, and she sent them on their way, leaving the scarlet rope hanging from the window. The spies went up into the hill country and stayed there 3 days. The men who were chasing them searched everywhere along the road, but they finally returned without success. Then the 2 spies came down from the hill country, crossed the Jordan River, and reported to Joshua all that had happened to them. "The Lord has given us the whole land," they said, "for all the people in the land are terrified of us." Thus ends the reading of chapter 2 of Joshua. So I love stories like this where people in foreign lands, Gentiles basically, people like me, because, I'm a Gentile. I love hearing about how basically they help the Israelites out, if they help the Israelites out. Or I love hearing about how they, come to, believe in Jesus, in the New Testament, how like certain Gentiles, they come to believe in Jesus, and they call him Lord and ask him for help, like for healing or whatever, and the Lord does so because of their faith and stuff. It's like, I just love hearing stories about how Gentiles literally like obey the Lord and love the Lord and have great faith. Like, I love hearing stories about that, and I love how in Jesus, his genealogy, his family lineage and stuff like that, there are Gentiles. So literally, like, he's the God of all of us, like he got everybody in his family lineage, Israelites and Gentiles, Jews and Gentiles, all of us is in there. So, he literally represents all of us, So I love Jesus so much. And I love the story about Rahab, Like, I can't imagine what she was going through. Like, she was terrified of these 2 Israelite men. She knew that they came up in there in order to spy on them. But she gave them shelter and safety, in her home, and protected them, because she believed in the God in which they served, Like, she put her fears, the uncertainties and stuff like that aside, and she did the right thing, because that's what the Lord wanted, Like, the Lord worked through her. And it's such a good story, Now, I love the terms in which okay. First of all, before I even get to that, right? The king of Jericho gonna tell Rahab, that the 2 men that she got inside her house, the spies, released them. She lied to the king, or the king's men, or whoever was sent to her house. She lied to them and basically said that the 2 men had left already, and that if they go quickly, they might be able to catch up to them. Now, she lied because she was keeping a secret, that she still had the men, inside of her house. This was a way for her to protect them, and I feel like she was doing what the Lord, wanted her to do. It's like basically what I'm getting at is that if the Lord wants you to keep something a secret, if the Lord wants you to, keep something a secret, lie essentially or whatever, then, it's not a sin, because it's what the Lord is asking you to do. It's God himself telling you to do it. And everything that he does is just and righteous and good. It doesn't break any laws or anything in which he created. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when the Lord tells you to keep something secret or to not reveal certain information or whatever, then you're good, Like, you don't have to worry about nothing. So I feel like Rahab literally kept that information a secret because that's what the Lord wanted her to do. All right? So then, the king's men, they leave to go search for the men. I'm sorry. They leave in order to go search for the men. And before the 2 Israelites, went to sleep, Rahab basically warned them. She was like, basically, I'm just gonna sum it up in my words. She was like, everybody in the town, is afraid of you and everything because we heard about what your Lord did. I believe in your Lord. I believe he the one true God and stuff. He can do everything. And um and when you come take over the city like the Lord wants you to, don't forget about me. Like, spare me and my family, for, but because of what I did for you and because of my faith and stuff. That's basically what I got out of it. And the man was like, yes, we will, we will spare you, and your family, as long as you don't betray us, and as long as everybody, you and your family, is inside of your house, when we come to take over the city. If anybody go outside, that's on them. That's on them. We ain't liable for that because they exited the house. But if anybody get hurt while in the house, then that's on us because we had an oath. But as long as y'all don't betray us, we good, and as long as you inside the house, you good. So, like, I love how they did the whole thing, like the whole negotiation. They appreciated her and what she did, and they see her faith and stuff like that, and her believing in their God and stuff, and she serving their God by offering them protection and lying to the king and all that stuff. So, to the king of Jericho and everything. So, of course, they're gonna offer her protection, when they come and take over the city. She just gotta follow some rules. I mean, it's like, how are we supposed to guarantee your safety when we taking over the city if you don't stay inside your house? Because we can easily say, hey, this house right here, don't touch it, don't go inside, don't bother nobody up in there, this house right here. But everything else, go ahead. Like, if you stay in the house, we can easily, protect you. But how we supposed to know who your family and who ain't if they not in the house? So I understand why they did that whole negotiation thing. It was really smart, though. Honestly, it was really smart. And then I love the red ribbon thing, in order to distinguish, where exactly Rahab's house is. And honestly, as a reminder, as how they escaped, from the city and made it back to camp. And I think that's it. But yeah, it's a great story. I'm not gonna keep you because it wasn't a long chapter at all, and it wasn't much that I had to say. But wonderful story, though. I love how Rahab changed her life around. She was a prostitute, but she literally believed in their God and changed her whole life around. So that's wonderful. Like, the Lord literally saved a prostitute that day. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Lord saved a sinner that day. So, like, that's wonderful. And then it reminds me about how, the Lord will literally destroy all the wicked, but he's not going to destroy the righteous along with the wicked, because that's not right. Like, he's going to save his righteous ones. He's going to save those who believe in him, who follow him, and then those who don't, who want to be wicked and stuff, then they're going to be destroyed, and that's what's going to end up happening. Rahab and her family going to be spared, and everybody else going to get it. But in all honesty, I feel like now that we living after the death, resurrection, and ascension of Jesus, since we living during that time, since we living during this time, You know how everybody is responsible for their own salvation? So yeah, like let's say I was in Rahab's situation. Let's say, it was two holy men who came to my house, and who needed protection from the government or whatever, who was trying to kill them and stuff. Like, I would protect them, and then once the government people gone and everything, I'd be like, hey, don't forget about me, when y'all, when the Lord, like destroys this city or whatever, and they'll be like, okay, and that's it. It's like I would be the one that would be saved, basically, because because I'm the one that actually loves the Lord, and I'm the one, that is, that follows the Lord 100%. And I'm the one who lives for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a child of God. Whereas, my family, my biological family, let's say in this scenario that everybody, either, didn't believe, either they didn't believe in God, they was a child of Satan, wicked and stuff, loving their sins and all that, or they, let's say that they, claim to be Christians and everything, but they were like wolves in sheep's clothing. You know what I'm saying? So let's say, you have both of them kinds, inside the family. Like my family, like, I wouldn't be able to save my family based off of what I did. Like I saved myself in that scenario, but can't save the family. Like, basically what I'm getting at is, like, back in the day, like during Old Testament times, if one person was saved in the family, then the whole family was saved. Like, one righteous person inside of the family can save the whole entire family. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't like that now with Jesus. Like, everybody responsible for their own salvation. Everybody responsible for their own sins. So now, shoot, if one person in the family is saved, is righteous and stuff like that, then it's just that one person that's saved and righteous. Because that one person, put in the work, has a relationship with the Lord, decided to follow the Lord and everything, and is being obedient and all of that. So they're the person, that gets saved. The rest of the family members who don't believe and who not trying to do all that, who not trying to follow the Lord and stuff like that, I'm sorry, but they don't, they don't get saved, because everybody responsible for their own salvation. So I hope y'all understand basically what I was trying to say. Like, basically in my scenario, the only one who would have been getting saved was me, because the family, they ain't do nothing. Like, not only did they not, protect the prophets or whatever, the holy men, but also they they either didn't believe in the Lord, or they did, but they just didn't follow him. Because like you got people in the world who don't believe in Jesus. They might believe in God or a higher power or something like that, but they don't believe in Jesus. Or you got people who do believe in Jesus, but they just want the good stuff. They just want the blessings or whatever and everything. But they not finna follow the Lord like that. They just want the stuff. They not trying to put in no work, like have a relationship with the Lord. They not trying to do all that. They just want stuff. Yeah, you got them kinds, and then you got people who play pretend. They pretend to be a true, Christian who follow the Lord 100%. But all you got to do is just look at their life and test their spirit, and use discernment, and you can tell, that they faking. they not really about that. So, you know, it's all kinds. It ain't that many. You know, basically it's only two kinds of people in the world. You either for Jesus or you not. You either righteous or you wicked. You either light or you dark. You like you know, it's good and it's evil, basically. Like, it's good and it's evil. Like I try and tell people all the time that, like, if you're on the fence about Jesus and everything, then you know the devil owns the fence, right? Because you gotta be for Jesus or you're not. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the devil owns the fence. Like he owns the fence. He on the fence. You can't be on the fence about it. You need to make a decision. Either you finna be with Jesus or not. And if you finna be with Jesus, you gotta be with him 100%, because he's with us 100%. You know, like, you gotta give him your all. You got to surrender to him 100% completely. You know, you have to obey him. You know, you have to follow what's in this Bible. You know, you can't pick and choose what you want to follow. What the Lord said is what he said, you know, so follow him, you know. Like, and if you got an issue with whatever is in her, you know, for whatever reason, like, talk to the Lord, work that out, you know, but you gotta obey him at the end of the day. You know, you gotta do what he said. Like, I don't know what else to tell y'all. Like, the devil on that fence, so you need to get off of it, you know. Don't let the devil distract you, you know. Don't let him confuse you, you know. Like, follow Jesus, please. Like, Jesus has been so wonderful to me. I don't know what people be on. I don't even know if y'all heard that or not, but, you know, it's that time of day anyway. It's like 4:20. So it's 4:20 in the afternoon. It's that time of day. Y'all already know where I'm at. I'm at Panera, like always. You know, best place, one of the best places in the world to do your videos, you know, and to have that good internet, you know, that good internet signal, good internet strength, you know, all 4 bars, so you can, you know, record videos and stuff. I apologize for that, y'all. This person parked, like, not right next to me, but, you know, like, close enough. And they got their window down, doing the music. I'm glad it's not too loud, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get off, because this, yeah, this enough. Yeah, I covered everything. So, thank y'all so much for listening. I love you. Jesus loves you. And have a blessed day. Bye.